You're a rebel, getting into trouble.
Guys, a little bit of spring vibe, and also want to walk you through my DIY dining room chalk paint edition. Yes, this dining room table skating that you see here has a little bit of understory with this chalk paint that I did using Magnolia chalk paint. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Juliet. I do home decor, DIY. Definitely not a chalk paint expert, but I have my little hiccups here and there. But I love sharing my process of my home or anything that I do. I would love if you guys decide to stick around by subscribing, and also if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and let's get started. To give you a little bit of background, this dining room table that you see is from Pier 1. It's a very beautiful piece. I love it. It's gorgeous. I originally was not expecting to run through so much hiccup having dark furniture with kids. It was hard keeping that shine, and I felt that you could see every little print and also dust throughout the day. It was just an always constant battle trying to keep it clean and trying to keep my sanity together. So I decided to go ahead and chalk paint, and I originally was debating between is Annie Sloan chalk paint. Is I know all about it. You can Google it on YouTube or on Google. Like, it is the most famous paint ever. But I was drawn to the Magnolia line. I decided to use it. I did use Annie Sloan chalk paint for my DIY chalk paint chair that I did. I believe it's been almost 2 years now. So I wanted to go with a Magnolia Home. It was a new product, and of course I wanted to test it out. So I went on their website, placed the order. I did order the chalk paint and also order the sealer through their website. The only bummer that I didn't like after I was done sealing and doing my chalk paint, I didn't like the sealer on the table because I really wanted a very nice, clean, very white finish, and I felt that the sealer was giving me more of an antique, like a very yellowish finish, and I didn't want that. So I decided to go another route, and I'll walk you guys through the process of my decision that I'm regretting today. But if you decide to chalk paint with a piece of furniture, I will highly recommend that you stick with the manufacturer company that you're using for a sealer. As far as what I'm talking about, if you're using Magnolia Home chalk paint, I'll say stick with the sealer because more than likely they do complement each other. But I decided to go with polyethylene finish, and it gave me a yellowish finish. Maybe it's due to the fact that my dining room paint color, of course, is white. So of course, with time and use, I ran into my table looking yellowish with the sealer that I use. But again, your result might be different if you decide to chalk paint with a gray chalk paint or a black chalk paint or any other color but white. I'm always doing this myself. I use white chalk paint, which is a color that's very beautiful, very inviting, it brighten up the space. But of course, it comes with the pros and cons, which is the sealer that I dealt with turning yellow, and that's the reason why my dining room chalk paint table edition was a complete fail for me. The chalk paint itself is still holding on very well, but the polyethylene finish that I used is definitely not. I don't recommend it. I used the semi-gloss, which is a beautiful finish. It took about 3 months before I saw like the change in my dining room table, but after a while I decided to just strip it off. People would tell me to go ahead and just reseal it with something else, but at that time I was ready for something different, which means that there's going to be another part 2 of my dining room table makeover. My one recommendation that I'll say is just to follow the natural groove of your wood table. If you're painting a dining room table as I am, follow the natural groove of your wood table. That makes such a huge difference because you want it to look as natural as possible. And also read the manufacturer instruction as far as like the weight ton between each coat For me, I believe it was about 4 hours. I just set my phone to 4 hours, did some household stuff, and the one thing about chalk paint is so easy to clean. So if you get your hands dirty, it's just pretty much just go under the sink and wash it off, and you're pretty much good to go. It's very little to no prep work, and it's self-explanatory. So if you guys have any questions, please leave them down below. This is my experience of what I dealt with painting my dining room table. I keep saying chair, my dining room table with chalk paint with a different sealer compared to what the recommended sealer was for Magnolia home. So I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with the Magnolia line. I'm just saying that with my experience using polyurethane finish clearing sealer was a bad idea. I didn't like it. As listed before, if you use a different color, you might have a different result. But that's what I dealt with. So I'm making this video not to show you guys that I succeed at this project, but I'm making this video to show you that it was a fail. The chalk paint is doing very well. I'm not against chalk painting furniture at all, but I do recommend that you stick and read the manufacturer instruction as far as like what sealer to use. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts down below. What would you have done differently if you were in my shoes? And also, what do you think the next project for this dining room table will be? So I'm definitely not getting rid of it. She is a beautiful solid piece. And I'll definitely thought of repainting it with a different chalk paint, maybe a gray, maybe a whitewash. But I decided to try something different, and you guys just have to stick around to find out what I go with. I lost few clips along the way, but I'm going to add few highlights of my Instagram stories to show you guys the process while I was going through it. I was talking through it. I have a hard time holding my camera and doing a project, so this story will definitely help you. It's definitely a time lapse, so if you don't want to see it, you can skip through it, but you get to see the polyurethane finish that I use, get to see everything. So as I mentioned, if you have a question, leave them down below. I applied 5 coats to it to get that white desired finish that I wanted. So do remember, if you have a lighter furniture or lighter wood, you definitely don't need 5 coat, but I had a very dark table, so 5 coat was what I needed. So I hope you guys enjoy. I'll leave you guys over to this highlight of my Instagram. So if you have any further questions, leave them down below, and thank you so much for watching. So originally when I went to Lowe's, I told you guys previously, a lady told me to DIY my chalk paint, and she told me since I have a darker table, I should prime it first. So based on her feedback and instruction, I decided to go with that. But since I was procrastinating on color, and with kids, it turned brown, so I really had to sand this. I sanded, cleaned it, wiped it. First coat is done, and it says wait 1 hour between coats. So I'm going to follow the instruction because this has to be perfect. The second coat, and I'm telling you guys, like after an hour letting the first coat dry, it's so smooth, and I love it. And I love the fact that the dark wood is picking through it. So I might not do a heavy coat on the third coat, and I'm going very, very light on painting. So what I'm doing is like I'm doing very light, going light, and I'll stop and do some cleaning for an hour and let the first coat dry. So I'll come back and update you guys. It's gonna be my last update. So I just did my last coat, my third coat. I won't call it my last, but I feel like I want to wait to let this dry overnight, and then I'll see how I feel about it. And also I want to add another coat, but I don't know yet. So we're definitely going to be eating out tonight or fixing something quick because nobody's going to be sitting at the table. So I might do one more It's definitely giving me that French vibe that I want, but I want it to fully dry. I might do one more, but I think the last one I might use a rolling. Running into, I use a paint stripper to remove the primer that I had on the table, and I didn't realize that it actually leaked a little bit. So right now I'm having an issue because I did really clean the table. I removed the paint stripper, sand the table, clean it with a nice wet towel, and went back again twice and wiped it dry before I started painting. But I didn't realize. So the only thing I can do at this point is really remove the paint and try to do this side over, because it is eating up my paint because it's still activated and I don't know what else to do. So I realized that the paint stripper actually went down the legs of on this side. So that's the issue I'm running into, but nothing big that I cannot fix. It's just I have to really clean it out and dry, let this thing. Apart from that, the table is fine. If you guys have any suggestion, let me know, because that's what's holding me back now, is this. Back quickly. You see, as it's drying, I might do one more coat, but as far as like the issue I'm running into, I'm gonna just go ahead and sand it down again. I knew, and I'm gonna sand it just to make sure I don't have that issue anymore. But apart from that, we looking good. Wednesday, guys. So here's the table all dried up. I don't think I was doing it. I did 4 coat. So, and I'm still having issue with the paint stripper. So I'm thinking at this point to seal this area and repaint it and see if that's gonna help it. I don't know, because I'm running out of ideas. Help. Not sure right now if I'll add another. I think I will do another coat because I see some stuff. But at the same time, I want it to look kind of like a wash off white. So I don't know. I might. I think I will. Okay. Hello, bonsoir. Je suis revenue. Okay. Final update for the day. I did another coat, so this is number 5. See my fingers? Yes. So what I did, I add the wax. I added the sealer right here, and it helped it a little bit. So what I'm going to do, I'm gonna let it dry overnight again, and tomorrow I will add another coat on this leg. This is the only leg that didn't get 5 coats. I'm much not worrying about it because I'm going to distress the legs a little bit. So I'm going to distress this area. I don't even know why I was stressing it, because I'm going to distress, and I'm going to use the darker wax on the legs just to give it like more of an original feel. So yes, that is the final coat. I'm very excited. It was a longer process because I had a darker, look at this little one right there. Because I had a darker table, a darker wood. You should know with dark wood it's gonna eat up a lot of paint. But I still have a good amount of chalk paint left, and I'll share that with you guys tomorrow. I just have to take care of mommy duty right now, so I just wanted to give you guys this update. Alright guys, I know I left you guys hanging with the dining room table finish. So this is my third coat seal that I'm applying, and I decided to go with the polyclear. Is that how you say polyclear? To finish the table, because when I use the clear wax that came with the Magnolia home, it gave it a little bit of yellow tone, and I didn't want that. And I used it mainly on the legs because I just wanted to test it out on the leg of the table a little bit. I distressed the table and used Also use the dark wax just to give it like an older finish, because this table is not level. It was handcrafted based on Pier 1, so it's not level. So I didn't want it to look a little bit vintage kind of. So I distressed around. Hold on, light is overtaking. I distressed the corner, and I use a little bit of dark wax. I'm not gonna say anything. So the powder coat that I use is the clear semi-gloss, just because I have small kiddos and it is pretty in my opinion. They also had the matte finish, and I didn't want a matte finish just because I'm thinking about kids, and I'm not trying to touch up anything anytime soon, so I rather go with this route. I think it's be better. Let me turn the light on. So this is my third coat of applying. I applied a coat last night and woke up this morning, took the kids to school, and then applied another one. And I wait 2 hours because it said wait 2 hours, and I am loving the way it looks. It is a semi-gloss, as you can see, but it means it is so mommy friendly for me in my ear. And if you want a matte finish, then you can use the matte finish sealer. And another thing that I did before I applied any sealer, I ran with a rolling brush and applied my last chalk paint coat just to give it a smooth finish, because I love having the brush stroke. Is that how you say it? Brush strokes. But it wasn't even because I couldn't wing it that long. My table is pretty long. So I did a total of 6 coats, and the reason why, because I wanted a very smooth surface, but you still see the brush strokes, but at the same time you don't see that huge uneven line of.
Do you remember? I told you if we dance.